Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you on Thursday, I believe it's the 20th today, 2017. Hope your week's going well and continuing to enjoy summer and certainly fascinating times in the financial markets, even if it looks like we're watching a glacier melt slowly over time. Although, instead of talking about silver for a change, today just some simple Bitcoin advice that it's nice because if you're not, it's not actually a financial prediction, although something that I think can almost be guaranteed to be profitable in your life, and not really telling you to buy or sell Bitcoin, but just I think it's something really worth learning about for a few simple reasons. Again, we talk a lot about the financials and how we've seen these series of bubbles, how we've seen the response being more printing and borrowing, and how that makes the next bubble a bit larger. And it's 2008, I guess, was known as the apex of the last one. So here we are, 9 years later. Certainly, seems like it. Some of these things would be resolved at some point. But whether you're looking at Bitcoin as a new currency, or if you're just seeing the different ways that, the growing acceptance of places that you can use it. But also, as I've been learning about, seeing that it's not just a currency it's being used at, but in ways that I'm still learning and grasping. It reminds me a lot of the way people felt about when the internet was coming out, which of course did financially develop into a bubble, yet still had that revolutionary impact in our lives. And perhaps something that stands out to me, again, I don't proclaim I'm new to Bitcoin. Well, I've been familiar with Bitcoin for years because I found a lot of the people that solve problems with U.S. fiscal and monetary policies, and we're seeing the same things I was seeing about gold and silver, were often strong advocates of Bitcoin. Now, not all of them, yet I found that's what stands out. The more I think about how anytime I've spoken with someone who actually, is in their coding or has really followed from the beginning or understands it at a high level, it's just interesting to see the way they speak about it. Just that they're always gushing about Bitcoin can do this and the cryptocurrencies can create more transparent systems. It's not prone to manipulation in the sense that now, I guess, false news to freak people out is that manipulation. To the degree that what we see going on in some of the commodities like silver and gold, where someone has the ability to press a button that writes any amount of paper contracts, and how a lot of these things are artificially distorted. Some of those things seem to be resolved in some of the cryptocurrencies. I couldn't tell you what open source means, although I hear a lot of these advanced programmers that can talk and go on and on about the benefits of what's possible, expressing how it's an honest code that people can go in, and there's no hidden banker tricks. So to me, that seems like a good thing. So really, even what's nice is the way you see. It feels like a good use of the technology that we're creating to actually see, these are old, outdated ways of doing things. Man, I remember when I first started trading on the American Stock Exchange, some of the systems we had then, which, you would have thought even by 2005, 2006, the world was advanced technologically, yet, I mean, the what we had was crashing all the time. Nobody could ever figure out how to use it. So as things become more electronic, and that's the goal with technology. Theoretically, it should make life easier. Then with the net effect being less work for more reward. Of course, the Federal Reserve would come along and say, well, we need more inflation. We can't let life get affordable and easy. Well, here's one way to think about it. Since the Fed was invented, the dollar's lost 99% of its value. So imagine if everybody just got 100 times salary increase. We've got all that purchasing power back. So instead of making 50,000, multiply that times 100. Just for the same energy expended, which again is why I think and spend so much time focusing on the currencies, seeing that, to me, there's seemingly a break point in our near future, and certainly to the degree of Bitcoin, which has advantages over gold and silver. Because think about it, if let's say the dollar completely collapses and silver goes to 100 or 1,000 or whatever the printing press number they drive it to. I mean, if let's say an ounce of silver, let's say it just goes to $100 to not venture too far off today. You want to buy a slice of pizza and you have your silver coin. What are you going to chop you can't just slice a little piece off. So, hey, maybe well, I guess we already have seen the advent of some gold and silver-backed debit cards. But again, pointing out how Bitcoin has the potential for a means of actually paying for things, especially whenever we have this imbalance in the printed money and the debt finally resolved, which, could happen this summer, could be pushed off longer. I think that's a valuable lesson I've learned, especially in this past decade of my trading career. It's challenging when you see certain things that seem obvious and logical, yet the market has its own timing, which is why rather than, you can divert some of that time if you're waiting for silver and trying to understand when we'll reach perhaps a break point between the physical and paper markets. I've just found the whole Bitcoin thing quite fascinating, thinking about what the recent price rise in Bitcoin could be implying. I haven't heard a better explanation so far than the fact that maybe there is growing tension right now happening in the currencies. Normally we'd see reflected in gold and silver if it were a freely trading market, which it's unfortunate that it isn't, but what can you do with the situation you're in? Because certainly I think there's some degree to which there's a lot that could happen that no matter how much we prepare, you simply won't know. But I'm often thinking about, all right, if you have dollar and some of these other paper currencies fail, which has happened repeatedly throughout history, what might the world look like tomorrow? And what's certainly the whole cryptocurrency thing is fascinating. So whether you're investing in them or just learning about it or finding some way that your skill set could be useful, anyway, that's today's tip that we're going to pass along. So hopefully you're out there having a good day and you can hit the beach, listen to a podcast about Bitcoin, or of course you can probably just go back through your past Arcade Economics episodes. Hopefully you're finding the content good. Leave your comments below, any questions you have. It's been fun answering those, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thanks.